As a chef, communication is hard. I always communicate with my coworkers. I ask them, hey, I need carrots on the fly. Give me some broccoli. Dice my potatoes. I need to make my stew. But the problem is my coworkers resent me. And I recently asked myself why. Why is that? Why do my coworkers hate me so much? It's because I'm constantly asking them for things, but I never ask them if they need anything. I focus so much on myself, I fail to think about what they might need. And, well, I'm not a chef. I'm actually just a high school student. But my point still stands. The concept of we-oriented communication is so important when it comes to communication. When you are in a group, say you're in a group of people and there's someone self-centered. They're talking and they're, talking about their lives. They're just focused on what they have to say. They fail to care about what others might have to say. It's like talking to a brick wall. It's annoying. I think we've all been there. Someone just goes on and on about their life and how they're doing, how great they are. But they don't ask you how you're doing. They don't ask you any questions. You see, when you're so focused on yourself in a conversation, you don't pay attention to what others might have to say. And what's communication if you're getting nothing out of it? The whole point of we-oriented communication is that it's so important because it's the only way that both parties benefit. Now, I printed out a little graph. And while it's not very clear, the colors are kind of messed up, it still expresses my point. So we have we-oriented communication right here. We have, my vegetables. I'm a chef, remember? And it builds trust. They're all talking together. They're not focused on one person or another. They're all talking as a group, but then you have me, the chef. And I'm creating conflict because I'm just saying what I want to say. I don't care about what other people have to say. I just want to hear myself talk. And, in order to properly do we-oriented communication, you must ask questions. You must keep the topic focused on something that both parties want to listen to, want to talk about. You've got to keep both parties interested in the conversation. If they're not, just change the subject to something else. We-oriented communication is good because it builds trust, builds collaboration. It encourages empathy, and it promotes teamwork. However, on the contrary, me-oriented communication, there's me, creates conflict, hinders cooperation, leads to isolation, and reduces support. It damages the confidence of the other person talking because you're so focused on what you have to say rather than what they have to say. It takes two people, at least two, to have a conversation. And what's a conversation if only one person's talking? In order to do this communication correctly, you must keep the topics focused on both people. Now, you can control what you do, but you can't always control what the other person does. If someone communicates incorrectly with you, you must assert yourself. You must want to talk. You must want to say what you have to say. Not much can be done besides that. It takes two to tango, but not much dancing can be done when it's only one person. We-orientation focuses on the quality, the effectivity, and the efficiency of conversations. And it is so important in communication, especially during these modern times. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.